Everyone, welcome to the session on MICAT. In this session, we are going to take a couple of things. One is MICAT 1 cutoff and how can you expect the call based on your MICAT 1 scores. And second is what should be your strategy going forward to be able to do well in MICAT 2. Earlier, I planned only to take MICAT 2 in this session, but recently I saw that in some of the Facebook groups, there are some of the people, with limited knowledge and throwing some unusually high numbers at you to be the cutoffs, which is pretty much misguiding and misleading. So I'm not sure that what kind of a vitamin are they trying to provide you by, providing you some incorrect information, irrespective of the fact that, from where they are coming from, whether they are a MICA student or where they are coming from some institute or whatever it is. So it's very important for you to understand MICAT 1 cutoff as well. Now, as far as MICAT 1 cutoff goes, obviously we all know that clearing psychometric was the first step. Calls will purely be based on your MICAT score plus your descriptive performance. So saying that a 60 blanket score is a safe score to get a call, or you cannot get a call at say 50 is something which is very incorrect, being shared by some of the people out there. So as far as the last year trends go, at an absolute score of 45 plus or a scaled score of 47 plus is good to get you a call, is good to get you a GEPI call if you were good with descriptive writing. The scaled score does not need to be seen as a standalone. MICA calls are not based on your standalone scaled score. MICA calls, they are going to be based on scaled score plus your descriptive performance. Last year there were students with even a 65 score or a 60 score or even a 57, 58, these kind of scores who could not get the calls. And there were people at the same time with 46, 47, 48 getting the calls. So what was the reason behind that? The reason was their descriptive performance as well. So while yes, there is a minimum threshold of a cutoff score, but it is very subjective because it's going to be based on your descriptive performance as well. And hence when I say 47 plus scaled score, that means that if you are in the range above that, you do have a chance of getting a GEPI call, all based on your descriptive performance. So if you are good in descriptive and even say you are at in the range of 47 to 55, you can expect a call. And people saying that you need a 60 plus for that, they are absolutely wrong. And as far as scaled score goes, there is a formula which has been published on the MICA website page. So you can just check out your scaled score on the basis of your absolute score from there, and try to get an idea that whether you will get a call or not. Obviously, the steps goes. All this stands valid only if your psychometric test is clear. Now, I believe that with this you have a clear picture on the MICAT 1 cutoff and what should be your approach to think about getting a call or not. However, this year they have explicitly mentioned that there is a 50% weightage of MICAT score in your final convert. And hence, if your scaled score is less than 55, I will strongly suggest you to go for MICAT 2 as well, so that you can increase your score, not because that you are not getting the call on your current score, but because you should increase your score to strengthen your chances of a convert with even an average PI if your scale score of MICAT exam is high. And that should be the reason for you to take MICAT 2 if your scale score today currently stands for at 47 plus. And not because you don't have a chance to get a call at 47 plus. Okay, so these are two different approaches, these are two different mindsets, and these will also decide the kind of confidence with which you will start preparing for MICAT 2 and how much time do you want to devote to GEPI preparation. Now, let us move to the second part. That is the MICAT II strategy. Now, there are certain people whom I see that they could not clear psychometric, and they were posting on some Facebook groups that they studied this theory of personality development, this theory of published on some website, and they just went through them and they were putting up some jargons out there. They were not easily comprehensible for me because I have been saying it from day one. And all those 200 plus students who have enrolled with us for MICAT preparation, they know that psychometric test is not a standard test. That if I create a psychometric test for a company X or a college Y, it's going to stand true for all the companies and for all the colleges. No. Every college or every organization, they set up a psychometric test as per their own requirements, as per what they are looking in you, and not as per a standard psychometric criteria. So while you are preparing for MICAT psychometric exam, it's very important for you to understand what MICA is looking out. Just saying that you need to be consistent with your answers and you need to be honest, I'm sorry, you will not be able to clear a psychometric test for MICA at least. Or for say even a company like a Procter & Gamble, you will not be able to clear it. You need to understand what are these people looking in you. And that is where we have been able to provide the feedbacks on psychometric performance to our students, help them through psychometric mock tests, and more than 95% of them have cleared psychometric test. So there is a certain methodology to even clear a psychometric test. I've seen some of the people posting that, oh man, you cannot teach psychometric to anyone. No, I'm sorry, you are wrong. You can always let a person know that what it takes to clear a certain test. Some of the high level standard parameters which I would just like to mention in this video. Consistency, which everyone talks about, is the underlying parameter. It's the underlying stone. There has to be something on the top of it for you to be able to clear a MICAT psychometric test. They are looking for leadership skills. They are looking for creativity. They are looking for a team man out there. They are looking for a good manager. Do you have these skills in you? Can you bring out these skills in your psychometric answers? If yes, you will clear the psychometric test. If not, you will not clear it. So how do I prepare for this? I will suggest you to join some course where you can get psychometric tests not only to solve, but also you are provided the support of personalized feedback of every test which you submit with a detailed description of where do you need improvement. If you can do that, if you can take help of these kind of tests and the personalized feedback process, you will be able to improve and you will be able to clear the psychometric test. But please be very cautious while you are selecting any course out there, because there are a lot of people who promise X and they deliver X minus 10. So please be cautious about where you are joining, who is providing you the psychometric tests, and moreover, what kind of feedback are they providing you to help. As far as we go, I think most of our students are pretty happy with the kind of feedbacks they got from us and the way it helped them to improve. So this is about psychometric. Please do not see it as just a consistency or just a honesty based stuff. It's a lot more than that. Now if I have to bring out these skills, right, now I can have different approaches. I can either be honest or I can either be just on the extremes. But then that is a technique which I need to develop to be able to clear a psychometric test, for which I need assistance from someone to help me with. So that's a very holistic and a very high level picture of psychometric test, what it takes to clear it and how you should be preparing for it. Please do not go for any psychometric test put up on the web, open to all, and which is actually being considered for a recruitment process. A psychometric test which is going to be used for a recruitment process is going to be different from a psychometric test being used by a certain FMCG company, and that will in turn be different from some test which is being used by an institute like MICAT as a part of your admission process. Psychometric tests are very, very different to each other. Say no standard theory applies to all, and that is where a customized preparation for psychometric is very much needed. So please do take this into account while you decide how to prepare going forward for MICAT II in terms of psychometric. As far as the target score goes, as I said, you will get calls on a scale score of 47 plus if your descriptive is good. But since the weightage is 50% for MICAT score, your target should be a 60 plus scaled score to ensure that with the average PI you are able to convert the call. Also, I observed some of the queries around that if you say, for example, have scored 50 in MICAT 1 with psychometric cleared, and MICAT 2 you have scored 60 with psychometric not cleared, which score is going to be considered? Your score of 50 is going to be considered because you cleared psychometric in that. So in case you don't clear a psychometric in MICAT 1 or you don't clear a psychometric in MICAT 2, your DAT exam in which you have not cleared psychometric will have the score stand null and void, and only the score of the test in which you cleared psychometric is going to be taken into account. So that goes back to the point of the importance of psychometric. However, 60 plus scale score should be your target score to be able to convert your GEPI call with even say around average PI performance. This does not mean that you cannot get a call at a lower score. Please take a note of that. Getting a call and being in a strong position to convert the call are two different scenarios, and you need to understand the difference between them, and you need to divide your time going forward accordingly. Now coming to the aptitude part of MICAT. Please understand that the difficulty level of MICAT 2 is going to be up as compared to MICAT 1. This has been the trend last year as well, and MICAT 2 is going to be slightly difficult than MICAT 1. Overall pattern is going to remain similar, but what may change is the topic wise distribution within different sections, and this will majorly happen in quant. It will not happen in verbal, it will not happen in logical reasoning. That is going to remain more or less the same. This major change you may observe in the cont section especially. Nevertheless, arithmetic will remain the most important topic even for MICAT 2. And you may expect once again 7 to 8 questions from here. Then DI remains another important topic and 5 to 6 questions from here once again. Something which was missing in MICAT 1 may come in MICAT 2, probability PNC, and you may have 2 to 3 questions from them. The point that these topics were absent in MICAT 1 does not mean that they will remain absent in MICAT 2. Next important topic is sets, sequences, that is your series, and functions. These are some of the other important topics. And then apart from this, you can expect questions from areas like linear equations, quadratic equations, and a basic of topics like LM, HCF, etc. Do not get into complicated geometry problems, not at all, they are not going to come in MICA. Do not get into complicated remainder theorem stuff, that is not going to come in MICAT. MICAT is going to give you just level 1 mathematics questions, majorly from these topics, and if you are weak in quant, if you can just capture first 4 or 5 topics from this particular list which I have shown here, you are all good to score 12 to 15 marks in MICAT quant. How to prepare this? You can prepare this either from level 1 questions of any MBA preparation book meant for CAT like Arun Sharma, Nishit Sinha or Sarvesh. Alternatively, as I have observed that most of you have RS Agrawal with you for quant, especially when it comes to MICA aspirants. So you can solve all these topics from RS Agrawal, and RS Agrawal should be a good book. The only point is, when you are preparing from RS Agrawal, please ensure that you are solving each and every question, and if you are facing a doubt anywhere, you are getting it cleared. Getting your doubts cleared is as important as anything else. Just solving hundreds of questions will not help you. Even if you solve just 50 but get all your doubts cleared, you are much better placed as compared to anyone else who has, say, solved 100 to 200 questions without analyzing them. So please take care of this. These are some of the important topics. This is the kind of tentative distribution which we may expect. And the most important topics remain arithmetic DI. So even if you can just capture these 2 topics very well in a way that no matter what questions comes from these topics, you will be able to solve it, you are very, very good in the quant section to go for. As far as verbal ability goes, the distribution of questions is going to remain similar as it was in MICAT 1. There are going to be no major changes because there is a very limited set of topics which actually come in verbal ability in MICAT, and they cannot play much around with them, right? So some of the most important topics here will include your reading comprehension for sure. Now RCs in MICAT, they are pretty easy. You can simply just read the question first in case you find a lengthy passage, and then just find out the answer from the passage instead of reading the entire passage and just mark the answer. The other part is vocabulary, which came very extensively in the paper. This could be in the form of antonyms, synonyms, fill in the blanks, etc. Now, how to prepare for vocabulary? One is go to Barron's high frequency word list, check out all those words, Check out their antonyms and synonyms from place like thesaurus for those words which are there in Barron's high frequency word list. And that will ensure that you are prepared very well for the vocabulary section. Just to write here for all of you, Barron's high frequency word list. Barron's high frequency word list, and then checking out the antonyms and synonyms from thesaurus.com. So this will take care of your most of the things in the verbal ability section and ensure that you are pretty well placed here. In addition to this, some of the other topics will include your parajumbles, then topics like sentence correction, are what you can find in the paper. The topics like para completion, para summary, they actually do not come in the MICAT paper. So you can kind of put less stress on those topics because it is very unlikely for them to come in MICAT exam. But the topics which we have mentioned here, that is your RCs, vocabulary in the form of antonyms, synonyms, fill in the blanks both in the form of single blank and double blank, and then parajumbles, and then sentence correction. So these are the most important topics for verbal ability part. For RCs, parajumbles, sentence correction, any MBA preparation material would be good for you to prepare. Or I will say the best way is to prepare through full length mocks and try to take as many full length mocks as possible. At least 10 mocks should be what you should be planning from here. And the verbal ability of those mocks will take care of the entire practice stuff. I will come to the exact mock frequency in a bit. Coming to logical reasoning part, that is your reasoning section. Obviously, word associations are going to dominate this section once again. Then the second highest weightage topic is going to be visual reasoning. You need to be very good in these two. For preparing visual reasoning, you can use verbal and non-verbal reasoning book by R.S. Agrawal. And for word association, there is no definite source, so it's either going to be Facebook groups or it is going to be the practice through mock tests. Some of the lesser important topics which will find their presence in the paper, and it is important if you can have a sub hold on them. Input output, code decode, seating arrangement, you can prepare these topics once again from verbal and non-verbal reasoning book of R.S. Agrawal or any MBA preparation material which you might be having with you. Another very important topic from which you will get 1 to 2 questions is statement, assumption and conclusion. This is a very dicey topic because you think that you have solved the answer correct, but at times you are making mistake, and that is why we have covered this topic in a dedicated session in our MICAT course. So in fact, we have covered statement, assumption, conclusion, visual reasoning, word association, all these topics in a dedicated class, so that you can understand the nuances which get into solving the questions of these topics correctly, and are not just relying on luck that if you have solved it, hope it is correct. Also, to prevent you from making mistake when you find two close options, especially in statement as and in a way in visual reasoning as well. So these are the topics which you should focus on: logical reasoning. Last but not the least, the GK part. And I'm very happy to share here that there were very good number of questions which came from our GK ebooks and material in the exam. and most of our students were able to get 10 plus marks very easily in GK. So one of the major sources to prepare is AFAQs website. Now for this we have provided notes of AFAQs in a very exhaustive ebook, which we are providing as a part of our GK material. Then you need to focus a lot on brands, business awareness, things like marketing campaigns, CEOs, headquarters, etc. Then you have a dedicated stuff on mergers and acquisitions, another very important topic. Then there are going to be questions from general current affairs as well, which you need to know. Some general current affairs will come. In addition to this, there are a lot of other topics in MICAT GK which you need to prepare for, and they will come in the exam. Not necessarily that if they were not in MICAT 1, they will not come in MICAT 2. So I'm just listing down some of the important topics. So let us say, have a quick look on important GK topics. One is definitely the FAQs notes which we have provided you. Second is business terms, business awareness. Then marketing awareness, very important once again. Again, we have provided you a dedicated ebook if you are the part of our course. Then the ebook around brands and marketing campaigns, another important area which you need to study. Then you need to study stuff around your current affairs. They are the most important ones from the month of July to January from MICAT 2 perspective. Then you need to study stuffs around awards, about the field of entertainment, in the field of advertising, in the field of some international recognitions. Then you need to study books and authors. Books and authors of 2016, area from which you will get questions. And then there would be stuffs around sports, and then you may get questions from some Indian economy stuff, more on the lines of current affairs and less on the lines of static part. So from static economy you will not get a question, but from current affair related economy you can always get a question in MICAT as well. So these are some of the important topics. Now if you are wondering how to study, there are two ways. Either you can go on multiple websites and try to collate information and then make notes and then study from them, or you can just refer to our GK material, where you will get very focused and refined ebooks on all these topics, coupled with a lot of GK tests based on these areas to help you prepare effectively. And I'm pretty pleased to share that a lot of our students have scored 10 to 12 marks very easily. In fact, I have rarely heard that a student who was a part of our course and he got less than 10 marks. So yes, that is how you should be preparing on GK, with the focus on these topics. I'm not getting into number of attempts and all, because we know that we need to aim a scaled score of 60 plus which means my absolute score should be in the range of 55 to 60 to be on the safest side. So that is the score which we are aiming at. However, I would say that if I have to see a good attempt in all the sections, try to keep your good attempts in the sense that you are on the safest side. So good attempts always mean that you are on the safest side. So for reasoning, you should be having 20 plus attempts. With around 85% accuracy, because accuracy is important, because that is what will determine your net marks. Because if I solve 20 questions with say 50% accuracy, I'm actually ending up at a very low score. So it's important to maintain a high accuracy as well. For GK, I will say 15 plus is a good attempt with 90% accuracy. Then moving to verbal, I will say 20 plus is a good score once again with 80% accuracy, because in verbal usually we are not very sure of our accuracy, that is why. However, in terms of MICAT exam, since a lot of questions are vocabulary based, we can be sure of our accuracy here. Quant, I will say 13 plus with a 90% accuracy. So this is ideally my number of good attempts. And if I talk about overall paper, I should have my attempts in the range of 70 to 80 with the average accuracy of 85% in the paper. If I am placed like this, no one can stop me from getting a MICAT call if my psychometric is cleared and I have a decent descriptive. Not only that, this kind of attempt is going to ensure that you have a strong chance of convert at the time of GEPI. Coming to the last part, descriptive. Topic for your argumentative writing, where you are writing for, against and a neutral view. Topic is going to be again opinion based topic. It is not going to be a current affair based topic. A lot of you misunderstood the topic in MICAT 1. Usually it should not be repeated in MICAT 2 in terms of coming up the term which less number of people among you were able to understand correctly. So it's going to be a more of an opinion based topic, and you don't need to worry if you could not understand the word geopolitical in MICAT 1, because in MICAT 2 you may have simpler words in the topic, and you should be able to interpret that and write a good opinion based answers for that. In terms of number of points which get into it, you can write 3 good points and that should be good. Do not leave the answer with just 1 or 2 points. Try to write 3 at least, and do not try to keep sentences very short. So for example, I have seen some of the people writing a 4 to 5 word sentence just because they don't have points, and they want to cover up the number of points, which is very wrong. As an examiner, I will be able to understand that, boss, you did not have enough of knowledge with you, enough of information with you, enough of views with you, that you just try to push the number of points to a higher number by writing a 4 to 5 or 6 word sentence, which is very, very wrong from my perspective, and I will not let you clear the descriptive test. And hence it is very important to be very focused while you are attempting a descriptive paper. you have to think from the perspective of the person who is going to evaluate your copy, who is going to evaluate say 10,000 copies at a time. So he should be able to grasp that you are different from the crowd at the first go, because anyway he's not going to read your all the answers in detail. He's just going to have a high level look and try to understand that do you have that level of knowledge or not. So your answers have to be that good that he can actually see it upfront that yes, this person is different from the crowd. Similarly, when it comes to creative writing, try to be more of a storyteller and not an essay writer. They are not looking for an essay writer in image-based writing. They are looking for a storyteller. Can you tell a story? Are you good at telling a story? No matter how good points you have written, but if you have written them in the form of a plain pure essay, I'm sorry, you may not be able to clear the creative writing test. But even if you had average view on the story, but we have presented it well in terms of telling it, you will be able to clear. See, you are getting into an institute which is more about advertising, communications, right? So the institute is all about how well can you tell a story, and that is what they are looking in you. So you have to write from that perspective, and that is where when students submit descriptive write-ups to us and we provide them the feedback on essay writing, creative writing, this is what we suggest to them. This is where we give detailed pointers to them that how can they improve. And I've seen a lot of people improving from X to 10x over the course of 10 to 15 tests which they took with us for MICAT 1. So yes, the personalized feedback does help you a lot to improve. It's not just posting and sharing with some of your peers who themselves are preparing for the exam and are not aware of what it takes to crack the exam. So a professional assistance there does help you, especially if it comprises of a personalized feedback being sent to you where all your stories are read. So it's pretty much helpful there. So this is the high level view of what is expected in a descriptive test of I don't know how you should approach say a picture based test. Taking care of all the pictures is very important in this storytelling. You may not use a picture directly, but you can always use it indirectly as well in picture based writing. However, just to address one of the concerns which I saw some of you posting it on Facebook groups, that what if we miss mentioning the sequence of the images at the top? It's okay. That is not going to be the reason for you to disqualify. So don't worry. However, please ensure that you are writing it in MICAT 2, even if you forgot it in MICAT 1, and it is not going to have any adverse impact. But just try to follow all the instructions carefully in the exam. That shows your sincerity to take the exam. So please do write the sequence of the image in MICAT 2, and do not worry if you missed it in MICAT 1. It's not going to be the reason of your disqualification. So just don't worry on that front. Coming to the last part, how you should be preparing from here. What should be your mock frequency? One full length mock every week. If you are just starting the preparation, or one full length mock every 10 to 12 days if you scored decently in MICAT 1. So based on your performance in MICAT 1 and are you directly starting the preparation for MICAT 2, this should be your mock frequency. In the case where you did not score well in MICAT 1 or you are starting preparing for MICAT 2 directly, you should be taking one full length mock every week. However, if your score was decent in MICAT 1, then you should be taking one full length mock every 10 to 12 days. Descriptive test, very important. And more importantly, are you getting the personalized feedback for these descriptive tests or not? One descriptive test every 3 to 4 days, irrespective of how you have fared in MICAT. This is very important. And more important than just attempting a descriptive test is getting a proper feedback of descriptive test. So take a descriptive test every 3 to 4 days. We are providing you around 35 tests which are going to help you a lot only for descriptive. Coming to psychometric, your aim should be to reach a position where you start clearing a psychometric test. So around 3 to 5 psychometric tests at least you should be taking. We are providing you around 10 psychometric tests, so that will take care of everything. So psychometric tests till a stage where you start clearing a psychometric test, because it takes 1, 2 or 3 tests at max to start clearing a psychometric test, to understand the psychology which needs to be put into the approach that needs to be put into to clear a psychometric test. So that should be your target. So there is no specific frequency for a psychometric test. It's more about when do I reach that stage that I start clearing a psychometric test. And we are providing you 10 psychometric tests, so that is pretty handy. So I've never seen a person taking more than 3 to 4 tests to start clearing a psychometric test. But yeah, so 10 means you get a good amount of practice as well. As far as GK goes, you can prepare it just from the ebooks which we are providing you and the tests which we are providing you. That will take care of you doing very well in GK part. So with this, I'll end this session here. I hope you could get some insights about MICAT exam, what should be the approach, cutoffs, good attempts, and what to expect. Wish you all good luck, and I hope that most of you seeing this video get GEPI calls, and then we get a chance to interact and we get a chance to help you out with your GEPI preparation as well. So with this, I would like to thank you all for taking out time to watch this video, and wish you all the best for MICAT 2 and the GEPI process ahead. Thank you.